Hey everyone, I'm DrHamfist. Let's do this. We're going to be playing as the Silent, and this is essentially the second run we've ever done. Well, as far as the save's concerned, after we switched to beta. We've succeeded one run on the Ironclad. So we have no experience or unlocks at all for the Silent, but we will have the bonus from Niao that you get for, I think, only clearing the first boss. So it's pretty hard not to have it, you'd think, even though we'll probably get embarrassed and die on the first wave and have that happen to us at some point. So, this is almost the hardest run you'll ever have as the Silent. The only way it would be harder would be if I didn't make it to the first boss on my last run. So, let's see how well we do with no unlock going for us. Oh yeah, so here's Niao, and he's going to give me some... Oh wait, what? Never mind. I thought he was going to give me bonuses. Alright, so this is actually properly, truly the hardest run you could possibly have as the Silent then. Never mind. And I think we want to hit this shop. Maybe that'll lead on the way up. Possibly that'll lead. I think these unknown events are pretty good though. So probably doing this one, and then up at the top we might actually hit this right shop just to get one more unknown event. Because I think I need to start targeting those. Some of them become more valuable if you've hit more of them before. And the only way you're going to have any odds of really hitting that is if you hit a lot. So let's try to hit a lot of unknowns. And still try to target a relatively late shop too. Oh yeah, and here's the guys. You want to tag them once to activate their passive, and then just wait, and then hit them and take them out after that. That's how you're supposed to fight these guys, and I've messed that up before, but... yeah, we can just defend and then strike each of them here. And it'll trigger their curl up passives, give them armor, but then we can just, or block, but then we can just let that fall off. And then this one's giving him strengths, so we'll take that guy out next turn. Oh, and then neutralize is actually free. I guess we would do it to him. It doesn't matter really, I don't think. Yeah, that's a super easy first fight, which is good. The Silence passive is that you draw 2 cards on your first turn. That's their starting relic. So it's much worse than Burning Blood, I would say, which gives you 6 health at the end of every fight. So damage is much worse when you're playing the Silent. And here, Sucker Punch is a relatively good card. Just does a lot more than a strike. Poison Stab... by itself, Poison Stab's not a great card. Yeah, so 3 poison, it'll deal 3 damage to them on 1 turn, and then their poison will lower by 1, so then it'll do 2, and then it'll do 1. So you can kind of read this as dealing 6 damage, and then dealing 5, so that's like 11. But poison can get really out of hand if you get a lot of stuff that does it, which makes me actually somewhat tempted to take this right now. This will make our deck very aggressive compared to either of the other 2 options. But I think it might be fine to try to get this poison snowball going, if you will. The other option is Dagger Throw. I'm actually a huge fan of Dagger Throw. And I almost just want to take Dagger Throw because how much I love it. This kind of deals 11 if you add it up over 3 turns. Whereas Dagger Throw deals 9 immediately, and you get to filter a card out. Which can be very helpful. Probably more so than 2 damage. Let's experiment with this Poison Stab, though, and take this even though I haven't ever really gone in on the poison yet. I don't think I've ever been offered the chance to from the get-go, so... And I think we decided we want to go left, yeah. Okay, here we go. So this fight, I've seen several different health values for this little slime on the left. I think this fight is relatively easy when you can destroy that slime on your first turn. You can probably do that more consistently with the Silent, with the 7 card starting hand. As the Ironclad, if it has at least 13 health, you're sometimes unable to kill it, and that could put you in a little bit of an awkward situation. Yeah, so here, Poison Stab, you hit it for 5, and then it gives it 3 poison stack. So that'll be 3 damage this turn. And then we don't need to defend. Yeah, so very good first few fights. Because we've taken no damage, which is exactly what you want to do as the Silent. No damage every fight. With the Ironclad, it's like the golden rule of take less than 6 damage per fight and you maintain even. So Distraction is add a random skill to your hand. It costs 0 this turn, exhaust. That is somewhat tempting. The problem is sometimes this will just roll something horrible we don't want. Dagger Throw is a great card. I would not take Slice with this deck so far. Our deck's already slightly aggressive because we took a only offensive card and only offensive card. Dagger Throw kind of reads as only offensive, but if you're about to take damage, you can discard like a strike and see if you can't rip a defend or other defensive card we add to our deck later. So Dagger Throw is not strictly an offensive card. It can actually help with defense a bit. Distraction, sometimes this is going to roll something we don't want it to. I think we're going to take Dagger Throw. Distraction wasn't a horrible pick. I definitely wouldn't have taken Slice, though. Okay, here we go. So we're definitely going to neutralize. It's free, and that is going to reduce his damage to 8, which Survivor can pick up. So that means that we can just Poisoned, Stab, Strike, and then Survivor. And it's weird when it makes you pick if all of the cards are the same. I do wish it wouldn't do that. Maybe that will come down the road. Yeah, so here, he is not dead to the 18 damage we could do. So we're definitely going to... Oh, hold on. Ah, yeah, even with the energy potion, we could do 24, but that won't get him. So, short of wanting to take 7 damage, this turn basically plays itself. Yeah, and then he does this... I think he was supposed to be a buff end block, but I don't see what he buffed. Maybe he's just swinging for more now? Yeah, so here, he's basically at 17, because he's got 13, he's got 5 block, but he's going to take one of the poison. So he's basically at 17, so he's actually just dead to strikes. Okay, here we go. So Bouncing Flask. This is a very high amount of poison if you're fighting one enemy. If you're fighting more than one enemy, this is not terribly good. But if you're fighting one enemy, this says 2 energy, apply 9 poison. That's actually quite a lot. If you sum up how much damage that does, I believe it deal 45. This is one of those, math problems where you add the top and the bottom number and then multiply that by the range divided by 2. So I think we'll actually take this and just try to go all in on the poison. And we probably want some good defensive cards that aren't poison cards. I think we are going to remove a card from our deck here. Costs 7 health, which is actually a bigger deal on the Silent than it is on the Ironclad. But I would like to get rid of one of our normal strikes. I don't think there's anything else we'd rather get rid of than that. Yeah. So I think what we want to do is have our offensive cards be reliant on poison for the most part, and then have a lot of defensive cards otherwise, so that we can live and stall while the poison racks up. Oh, find some potions. Wow, gain 1 artifact, so that gives you invulnerability against 1 effect. I think we definitely will take the dexterity potion. Should we get rid of the energy potion? I might take this artifact potion. I don't think I've seen this before. Seems interesting. I think the weak is less good because we already have weak in our deck. The Silent actually starts with weak in their deck. And then here, I think we're going to smith rather than just get 9 health. And the question is, what do we upgrade? Yeah, so just like the Ironclad, you get +3 on your block or on your strike. And then Survivor gets 3 as well. This is arguably better than upgrading a Defend because you're probably more likely to play Survivor if it's in your hand than a Defend. Yeah, so Neutralize gives you an extra turn of Weak, and you always play Neutralize anytime you draw it. So that's actually quite impactful. Poison Stab, 1 more damage, and also 1 more poison. You can kind of read that as 5 more damage. Dagger Throw. So just +3. This is sort of the same upgrade as Strike, but better in the same way that Survivor is to Defend. And then Bouncing Flask would do +3 poison, which honestly is a way of saying it will do 3 extra damage every turn, probably until the enemy dies. The catch being, I don't know if you'll play Bouncing Flask every time you draw it, but that is a very powerful effect. I think I'm trying to decide between Bouncing Flask and Neutralize. I think I want to start with Neutralize. I think the extra turn of Weak would be better. And we're always going to play this. I can definitely see turns where they're swinging a lot and we can't afford to Bouncing Flask. I think we're going to use Neutralize. Yeah, I think that's fine. Probably going to get the Bouncing Flask on the next upgrade, which I guess actually is very soon. Wow, actually we could definitely take a lot of damage to this. Yeah, so let's see. It might be worth using a Dexterity Potion on this fight. I'm tempted to because this turn we could use Survivor and go to 10. And that means we could use Bouncing Flask. Bouncing Flask is less good against multiple opponents, though. Because I think... You know what? I think actually what we're going to do is we're going to use our Energy Potion this turn. And I don't think we're going to use our Dexterity Potion and Energy Potion on this fight. But we honestly are way ahead on potions, so maybe it wouldn't be wrong. I think we should probably save one of them. So if we use the Energy Potion, it's like 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so what we probably would do would be like Poison Stab and Bouncing Flask. I guess we can just take 2 damage this turn to get an extra strike in. Maybe. Well, I think we're forming a plan that revolves around using Bouncing Flask no matter what, and our potions don't need to be used before we see the outcome. So let's see this. Okay, well it's absolutely all over him. All over the slime. So it's going to be like 9, then 8, then 7 would be 24, then 6 would be 30. Yeah, so he's not going to die for quite a while right now. If we were to Poison Stab him, that'd be 5, he'd be at 26, his poison would go to 12, he would die in 3 turns. Yeah, I think we are going to use the Energy Potion here. Here's sort of why I'm justifying this. We definitely want to kill this looter before long or he'll get away and steal some of our money. And we spent that 2 energy doing nothing to him. It all rolled on this slime. So now we have to decide whether or not we want to use this Dexterity Potion. I think we do. It seems like a lot. We're going down to 1 potion, but if we hadn't just found that, potion lot, we would have only had 1 anyway. Am I able to move this? That's gonna bother me. Okay, well, in any case, Survivor now will give us a full armor for the turn as far as what they're swinging. I think we'll Poison Stab this one. Poison Stab becomes more effective if they're already poisoned. It's 3 more damage every turn, instead of doing 3 and then 2 and then 1 here. And then at 12, take 12 and then 11 will be 23. So we could strike him and he'll die next turn. I think that's fine. And then we can just use everything on the looter moving forward. Yeah, and the question here is he going to make me frail, the slime? No, slime's going to make me weakened. Okay. So let's open up with a dagger throw. Discarding, I guess, a strike. And then the question is, do we want to defend strike? Well, we're weak this turn, so let's just double defend, not take any damage. We definitely need to start getting in there on him. Which, if we find that poison flask again, that can be a lot of damage. Okay, good. Yeah, so Poison Flask is nice here. He's going to give himself block next turn. Poison Flask had to be read as dealing 9 and then 8, but it actually works even better with other poisoned abilities. So what we're doing is getting 9 poison here, another 3, and then 5 health damage. And just throwing a Neutralize on for kicks. The 12 will put him to 21. And he's also going to take 11 the following turn. So he's kind of at 10, but he's getting block of 6. So we need to do 16. Okay, I think we're fine. Yeah, and then poison will take him out here. There we go. Okay, so lost a lot of potions, but did not lose all of our gold. And did not take any damage, I believe. And we got 1 potion back. That's nice. Alright, so here... So die deals 13 damage to all enemies and exhausts itself. That's very nice against multi-enemy fights. We don't really have any cards that are good against those right now. And I don't think I'm a fan of Piercing Wail or of Slice. So I think we're going to take this. It does make our deck more offensive, but at least it thins itself the moment you play it. And what's the upgrade? 4 more damage. This seems wildly better than Strike. The thing about it is you'll only benefit from this once per fight max because it exhausts itself. So that's why it seems to be wildly better than upgrading Strike. I think we're doing the Bouncing Flask though. Because this was only the damage on Dagger Throw. Yeah, we'll do Bouncing Flask. All in on that poison. Alright, and then a non-boss chest. A strawberry. Is that just max health? It is. So raise your max HP by 7. So I think the mango does like literally twice that, but we'll take it. And then here we have the option of fighting an elite. I think we probably will. We do have to do a fight after it, but then we get into a shop. And we've got a block potion and an artifact potion. I think this is fine, and I think we want the relic. I think we can do this. Okay, this guy actually... Yeah, this might be a good... Yeah, we can try to like stack up poison on this guy at the front. This guy sleeps when you walk in, and if you don't deal any health damage to him, he will not wake up this turn. He does wake up in just a few turns, even if you don't deal any damage to him. But we can pass that starting hand that didn't have any poison. Try to get that stacking up. And I think we might pass again. Yeah, if we use Dagger Throw to try to draw, we necessarily wake him up because it would deal 9. I don't know if he sleeps for another turn, but let's just see what happens. I think he might just get up. Yes, I think that's him getting up. No, he's still asleep. Okay, excellent. So what we'll do is use Bouncing Flask and Poison Stab. And then we can neutralize... Actually, well, hold on. I think he's going to wake up on his turn when he takes 15 anyway, and neutralize will make him weak the following turn. So we'll do that. And it also does 1. He is stunned this turn. Yeah. Yeah, and we racked up 15 damage. 15 poison that turn, which is very nice. Okay, here, we probably will end up using the block potion to save this damage. I think we'll open with Dagger Throw. See if we can't draw another defend. Yeah, so, well, we can either double strike or double defend no matter what if we skip this. So we have the option of taking 3 and saving the potion. I think that's probably fine. If we use the potion, we'll take 1 and we'll double strike, but if we save the potion for a turn where we draw poorly as far as defensive stuff next, couple turns, we probably should save the potion. And 3 is not the end of the world. You should basically assume you're going to take some damage fighting elites, especially early. And then here, we can actually block all of this. We probably should. The option is we could play die, die, die and get out of our deck, because it's sort of a dead draw if you're trying to play defensive, which we are. But I actually think I like just blocking everything and just trying to find our poison and then using the block potion when we're using the poison abilities again. Just try to wait him out. Oh, that worked out perfectly, actually. He's not attacking us the turn we draw all of our poison again. So now he's up to 27 poison, and he's dead next turn. So I think we can just hit end unless he... yeah. There we go. That was a very nice elite fight. Correct me if I'm wrong, we took 3 damage? We might have taken more. We probably took like 1 or 2 right at the front that I'm forgetting. Bronze scales, whenever you take damage, deal 3 back. This helps because our strategy does roughly revolve around poisoning them up and then just stalling. So that actually might come in pretty handy. Yeah, so bullet time. You cannot draw any cards this turn, but reduce the cost of cards in your hands to 0 this turn. This might be okay. We do have 1 card that costs 0 already. So I guess the worst hand for this right now would be bullet time, neutralize, and then 3 things that cost 1. That's a pretty common hand. We do have plenty of hands that we could draw that would be 4 things that cost 1 and bullet time. And then anytime you find it with bouncing flask, that's actually very nice. And if we draw bullet time, that might mean that we favor cards that are more expensive. This is definitely a good card, and we can definitely continue to choose around it moving forward, and we're, nearing the end of the first wave, like the first level. So we have a lot of time to react to drawing this. So I'm definitely thinking this could be pretty good right now. Both of the others are decent defensive options. And that's the one thing about bullet time is it does just dilute your deck, and this card itself doesn't do anything. So it's not out of the question to take something like dodge and roll here. Or even deflect. But I think what we'll do is we'll take bullet time, and then we'll try to pick for those more expensive cards. Yeah, let's try this. That is definitely not objectively correct, but... okay, so we have a die, die, die in our deck. Oh, there it is. And we're definitely happy to have it right now. This guy charges up and smacks you really hard. I guess none of these guys have abilities. I can't imagine we're not going to play this. So we'll get that out of the way. And then all of them but the wizard are dead to strikes. These 2 are swinging, so we'll just strike them. Yeah, having a die, die, die in our deck, and then also drawing it the first turn, makes this fight considerably easier than it might have been. Yeah, so here, we could bullet time. We'd be able to play everything else. We can already play everything else right now, and if we bullet time first, we cannot draw off of our dagger throw. And we can't bullet time and then, we can't dagger throw and then bullet time to draw something first and then do it. So we're actually going to be playing dagger throw first. This guy's dead to neutralize, so we're going to hit him. Yeah, there we go. Draw some damage and get them both. Alright, that was a clean fight. Brought to you by Die, 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 the card. Oh, here we go, dash. So dash works really well with... you know what? Prepared also does. Yeah, so dash works quite well with the what's it called, Bullet Time card. Technically, Deadly Poison's a great pick for, you know, our deck revolving around poison. You can kind of think of this thing as, you know, just your sort of like basic strike, but for poison. You know, it just casually applies for poison. That by itself, I think, would be 10 damage. So it's better than a strike, but it's slower. But when you're stacking it on top of other poison, it becomes much better. I think we might take Dash. I think really in my mind this is between Dash or Prepared. Even though Deadly Poison isn't that bad if you're going in on the poison route. The reason I'm thinking Dash is because it's a very dense defensive card. Just for one card you have to find, you get 10 block. Prepared is also not bad at all. It can work very well when you find your Bullet Time, because you can discard a cheap card to it. But I think we'll take the Dash. It works well with Bullet Time, and it's also a very dense defensive card. And then I think we'll go here for this shop. I think we'd rather hit this unknown event. We'll probably, as long as we don't lose much health to this fight, actually try to do a third upgrade before we move into the boss, and just have no heal at rest sites, which is sort of your objective for the level. Well, you know, one of your many objectives for the level. As long as you can clear the boss, you want to avoid resting. So first, Dreamcatcher. Whenever you rest, you may add a card to your deck. I'm not a big fan of this. It loots your deck very fast. If you were going for a strategy that revolved around, like, synergizing with a large deck, something like Perfected Strike in Ironclad, this could be very good. But I don't think we want our deck to become inconsistent by making it too fat. Toolbox. At the start of each combat, add a random colorless card to your hand. That's interesting. The catch is that it's random. It won't always be something you want it to be. Pair. Raise your max HP by 10. This is actually not bad. I don't know if it's worth spending literally all of our gold, though. Yeah, I think we'd rather have something that actually helps us in the middle of fights. So I think we want to spend this on cards. Enlightenment would be another way to go totally all in on expensive cards. I don't know to what extent we'll actually be able to do that, is sort of the catch. Dark Shackles, not a huge fan. I don't think we want Deflect here. Poison Stab on sale, we probably will take that. And then a Deadly Poison, might take that. 50 gold. If we take that and remove a card, it's probably worth it if we just get rid of one of our basic strikes. Caltrops, whenever you are attacked, deal 3 damage to the attacker. I don't think we want that. And then Skewer, deal 7 damage X times. I don't think that's really what we're going for. Spending all of your energy offensively in a turn. If this were Whirlwind in the Ironclad, I might do it because that'd be a good hedge against multi-enemy encounters. But I just need to call those group fights. Group fights just is way easier to say. So I don't think we're going to pass at the Poison Stab. I think we will take Deadly Poison, then remove a strike. I think that sounds fine. We're actually 1 gold shy of taking Enlightenment and Deadly Poison. But I don't think we wanted Enlightenment anyway. And I think we just remove a normal strike here. Okay, then we have 100 gold left over. I don't think we're spending it on anything here. I think too often I don't save any gold after shops and then need it exactly on the next encounter. I wonder if there's sort of this bonus pool where things that require gold are more likely to appear right after the shops. Seems like it from my experience. Okay, so here we go. So, World of Goop. This is the one where you fall into a puddle that, you know, I think burns you and pulls your gold out of you. Well, if you just lose your gold, you save the health. I think we can afford to lose 11 HP and probably still avoid resting at this campsite. It kind of depends how our next fight goes. The thing is, we do have this 12 block potion. You can kind of read that as 12 more HP than we should have. So we're kind of at full health at 77 right now, which is more than the Silent ever starts with. So I think we're fine to do this. If this next fight goes poorly, we can rest at the campsite. I'd like to avoid doing it, and then hopefully not make a fool of myself by dying immediately. Yeah, so here, as much as I would like to do both poison stabs, because doing 2 poison stabs is better than just doubling the value of doing one, I don't think there's a world where we can avoid getting 2 energy into these block cards. So just the 1. Okay, so there's no world where we don't neutralize. And then I'm very tempted to say we just dash Deadly Poison, because even a basic defend will not block all of this damage, but dash will do it while also dealing damage. And then actually, there is a case to be made for Dagger Throw over Deadly Poison. In 2 turns, Deadly Poison will deal 8, and then in the 3rd turn it will have dealt more. Yeah, so here he's at effective 11. Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah, die feels very, very strong. I don't know if it actually is strong, but it definitely feels very, very strong. I think we'd rather have the block in the energy potions than a second ancient potion, because we already have one. Okay. So here, I don't think it makes any sense to take Infinite Blades. I don't think it really works with this deck. The thing about it is you only have to play it once, and then it just gives you value for the rest of forever. And that really does add up, because every turn you profit from it, and it thins your deck, so you find your poison more often. Now, Quick Slash draws a card, and it kind of thins your deck, but I don't know if we really want to be just spending an energy to deal 8. Now, Dodge and Roll has a good effect. But I actually think maybe since Infinite Blades, we're kind of going for an attrition style of play already, so maybe it is correct to take Infinite Blades. Dodge and Roll is definitely a good card. There's definitely a temptation to take Dodge and Roll here. I think I'm going to try Infinite Blades and go against my gut and just say we're building an attrition-based deck. Let's just get the attrition-type cards. Yeah, and then that fight went fine. I don't think we took any damage. I think we do upgrade here. I would consider this rest to basically put us at a 100% chance of clearing the fight. It would actually perfectly put us at 77. But I think I very typically am going into the boss fights with less than full health and clear it. So I think we should be fine. Slight risk in doing this upgrade, but as long as we beat the boss, this is just way better than having done the rest. And yeah, were there any cards we were looking at specifically? I think we upgraded the 2 that we were looking at previously. So Bullet Time becomes, 1 cheaper. That basically helps when you have a draw card. Or say like Dagger Throw, draw and discard, but helps you filter. We don't have a lot of those, so that upgraded Bullet Time is very slight right now. The dash upgrade's not bad. Deadly Poison does 2 more. Wow, Infinite Blades, innate. Innate means that it starts in your hand. That's definitely an option. The thing is, I don't know if I want to artificially dilute the pool of defensive cards from my first hand, because we can never remove innate from this card if we do that. Yeah, I think there aren't any other new cards either. Survivor isn't out of the question. I think the dash upgrade's quite good. Deadly Poison, the extra 2, it's fine. It makes you a lot more likely to play it, because at Apply 4 Poison, you'll definitely pass this up a lot. I don't think we want Infinite Blades to be innate. I don't think that's enough of a benefit. If we had a relic that liked when you played X attacks a turn, which is usually 3, then Infinite Blades might help us start, profiting from turns of 3 attacks minimum sooner, and certainly ticking up those relics that like that. We can always just respond to finding one of those relics by, at that point, upgrading Infinite Blades. I think here we'll probably take the upgrade to dash, Yeah, I think 3 and 3 will probably very consistently play it at that point. I think we'll just do that. Okay, so our boss is Hexaghost. Did they remove that little warning on the beta where like it told you which boss you were about to fight? I think they did. I wasn't looking closely, but I don't think I saw this guy say that we were fighting him. So I don't think there's a world where we don't use Bouncing Flask. He's not attacking us. I mean, Neutralize is free. Is there any... Yeah, we don't have like Strength or anything up here. So Neutralize is free. Definitely going to cast Neutralize. Bouncing Flask is 12 poison. No way we don't do that. And then I think Deadly Poison actually might be better than Die, Die, Die. You can read Deadly Poison as deal 4 extra damage for the next 12 turns. So it'll outpace Die, Die, Die in 4 turns. This fight will probably last 4 turns. The other option would be we could use our Energy Potion and just go through a few more of these. I think we don't do that right now, though. I think it might be fine to just activate our Artifact Potion already. I bet we'll want to use it this fight. I'm actually unsure if he has any debuffs, but I think we'd rather use this before instead of, oh, he does have debuffs, he just debuffed me. So I'm assuming he has to have something. Let's go ahead and activate that. Yeah, and I don't think we'll use energy this turn. We could remove the Die, Die, Die card from our deck and thin it by a little bit, but I don't think it's worth it. I think we want to save that for a turn where we need to get some energy out for defensive purposes. Or just save it for a future fight, too. And my understanding is he has a huge second turn. Well, 18? That's not totally crazy. Yeah, so this hand plays itself. We have no way to draw, but if we play Bullet Time, we can play the other 4. That's the only way we can, so we do that. And then this could save us 8. I don't think we want to use it to save us 8. So... Oh, and then our little Thorns passive, he takes 3 when he hits us. That works out pretty well when he's swinging 6 times a turn. It's not bad. Alright, so Infinite Blades, always correct to get up sooner than later. Survivor blocks all the damage he's dealing, and then we can strike him. And now moving forward, we'll have an extra Shiv every turn. Yeah, and then Poison Stab is a very good offensive card here. So... yeah, here's a turn where we're going to probably just Bullet Time and just unload everything. The catch here is, we can't draw off Dagger Throw, and Dagger Throw tells us to discard, so you can avoid that by any time that you've done this, you can't draw, but you do have a Dagger Throw, just play Dagger Throw last. And if for some reason you couldn't, say you had 2 Dagger Throws, we have Shivs, which are always, 0 and deal 4. They usually will be outvalued by any other card you would have in your hand, so you would just want to do those instead. He's not attacking us, which makes this a great turn. We can just do these rather good offensive actions. Just dump those defense. Okay, yeah, so he's swinging 14. Now he's not. Now he's swinging 10. No reason not to Shiv. Oh, we can discard the burn. That's so nice. And then, yeah, just play everything out. I think he'll be dead next turn just to poison. Yes. So, we can just end turn and get him here. Actually, let's... Oh, can I? Yeah, I can. Get the satisfaction ourselves. Alright. So it was a very clean fight. I think we went in with... what was it? I think it was like 54 health. I think we took like 10 damage. Alright, so we got Burst. This turn, play your next skill twice. Which is very good with that, 2 energy Poison Flask, I think it's called. That applies 12. That would be, play 3 energy for 24 poison. 1,000 cuts. Whenever you play a card, deal 1 damage to all enemies. It's alright. It works well with the Shiv. I don't think paying 2 energy for this the turn that you play it is really worth it. In Venom, whenever an attack deals unblocked damage, apply 1 poison. Now this... You can kind of look at this as a comparison to 1,000 cuts. Any unblocked damage applies 1 poison. 1 poison basically means an extra damage every turn for the rest of the fight, assuming your poison doesn't totally fall off. That's a lot better than 1 damage. Now, granted, 1,000 cuts is whenever you play a card, which is going to be many things that aren't dealing unblocked damage. But hopefully those free shivs we get every turn are going to be envenomed, so I think we'll take envenom here. And it says whenever an attack deals unblocked damage, I think attacks that hit multiple times would apply multiple poison. So we'll take that. Then we can choose a relic. Yeah, so here's the cursed key. We've seen this before. We've picked this before. It's generally worked out for us. You get an extra energy at the start of each fight, but you obtain a curse from non-boss chests, which we will hit at least 2. I've learned that unknown events can be non-boss chests, so you can hit 2 on a stage, but you at least hit 1 right in the middle. There's always 1 on every path. You cannot avoid it. But the extra energy each turn can be very nice, especially if we're trying to take expensive cards, which we already are with the bullet time card. And we've taken Bouncing Flask already. We've taken Envenom, which costs 2. We've taken Dash, which costs 2. We've done a decent job of that. So this is definitely an option. I would never, ever imagine taking Runic Dome. I think it would just make your experience of playing the game so much worse. But maybe with the extra energy, a lot of times you can just play everything in your turn anyway, and you can just always have your block up. I don't know. Ectoplasm. You can no longer gain gold. Yeah, so this is much worse if you take it now. When you've got, 2 whole levels in front of you. This wouldn't be as bad taking it after the second boss. So I think we're taking this cursed key here. Funnily enough, you can skip this choose a relic screen. And technically all 3 of these have downsides, so there's a world where you might want to consider it, but I think this cursed key is fine. We can just make sure we hit shops to try to remove those curses. I actually take this quite often when I see it. Yeah, so here we're on to... Okay, no, it does still tell you, so I guess I just wasn't seeing that before. But on to Act 2, with our basically just totally new game Silent Run. We didn't even get a bonus from Niao, which I thought we were supposed to when we started this run. So going for this poison build, no advantages for this run. Let's see if we can do it. See you next time.